Okay, so today we're gonna do another test flight on Qubik 23 meter. As you can see, conditions are dead calm, no wind at all. That's perfect because that's what I wanted to test today. Inflation behavior in nil wind, because it's important in cross-country flights, especially in the mornings where you can't really expect high winds. Usually on my takeoff it's dead calm as today. The only difference is that today we have pretty high air density. It's cold, pressure is high, so I expect this wing to inflate quite easily. If that's the case today, that will be sweet. But we will try. Okay.
Okay, so here I'm already clipped in, everything is checked, and I notice I got a slight tailwind coming a little bit from the right, and at this moment I decide I'll try to launch anyway, because that would be a good test. If I can manage it with that wind, that would be just awesome. So let's see what happens.
Okay, so the situation is I blew the first launch. Just before the first launch I started getting very slight, maybe half a meter per second breeze, actually from the opposite direction, from behind. And I'm not a nil wind expert, so don't take me as some sort of nil wind instructor. But nil wind launches are killing me generally. But I decided, okay, I'll go anyway with this opposite wind. If I can handle that on that wing, slight opposite wind, which was absolutely impossible on my Universal, I will be stunned. But the wing came up to the one side. I probably had some crosswind too, a little bit. So yeah, I had to abort. But now let's try again in the correct direction. Okay, should be good. Center of the wing, good. Wind, nil. Can't feel anything.
So what happens here is I decided to create a slight breeze with my motor anyway, and here you can see my launching, and one thing you can notice is that I have a very long takeoff run, but this is entirely my fault. It's not Qubik fault, it's because I'm used to Universal, which has a lower takeoff speed, and I never hit full throttle on takeoff. So this is the only reason why I'm running for so long before taking off the ground. So don't take it as something that Qubik does. It's just my first launch on this wing. So yeah, that's how it looks like. Overall, I found this wing to inflate extraordinarily easy. The pressure on the risers was much lower than I'm used to on Dudek Universal. And it was a real surprise to see the wing above my head. So to sum up the takeoff characteristics, it's a very good wing for nil wind launches. I'm really positively surprised. So what I'm doing now is testing the speeds. I'm trying to find the slowest speed, so that would be my headwind. and as you can see it settles now at about 30 kilometers per hour, and this is with trimmers fully closed. And now with a tailwind we have a maximum of about 54 kilometers per hour, so to average those two numbers up, it's 42 kilometers per hour at trimmers fully closed, so a little bit more than the manual says, which is 40. Now let's open the trimmers. Okay, so now we are stabilized in new configuration, and as you can see the headwind speed has gone up to about 40 to 41 kilometers per hour. So let's see what is the tailwind situation now, and we'll calculate the average. And as you can see we got a maximum reliable readings between 66 and 67 kilometers per hour, so averaging that with headwind of 40 to 41 we get a open trim speed at around 53 kilometers per hour, which is 3 less than advertised, but it's still a very fast wing. So the last thing to measure is the speed bar situation, so I'm gonna now apply full speed bar. As you can see, before applying it, right now I got about 45 kilometers per hour headwind. So let's see what happens when we push the full bar. So the full speed bar speed is 55 kilometers per hour with headwind. So let's turn around and see what we got with a tailwind and divide the two. So now I'm flying in the opposite direction with full bar already applied, and as you can see we are absolutely cruising at about 71 kilometers per hour. So compared with 55 in the headwind, we got an average of the two of 63. And the manufacturer advertises 65, so we are close to the catalog data. So to sum up the video, I've flown Niviuk Qubik 23 meter, loaded at about 130 kilograms, and my slow speed was about 42 kilometers per hour. Fully open trim speed was about 53 kilometers per hour, and a maximum speed bar speed was 63 kilometers per hour. What I also did in this flight was comparing the economy to my previous wing, Dudek Universal, and what I found out looking at the RPM meter in both closed trims and open trims positions, that they were nearly the same. So I found Niviuk Qubik as a very efficient wing because it flies faster than Universal while still maintaining the same RPM. Other than that, I found Qubik to inflate very easily in a low wind situation. It was very fun to fly. It really encouraged me to try out some maneuvers, and it was a real pleasure to fly with these wings. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and that gave you some idea of how it is to fly Qubik, how good it is as a cross-country wing. So if you have some questions or comments, leave them down below, and hopefully we'll see each other in some next video.